For the year 2020, I'm making a video review for every new movie I watch, whether in theaters or at home. And on February 15th, I also watched Spanglish. Welcome to my year in movies. This is Talking to Myself. There's a subgenre of movies, I think, overall, that there's nothing super special about them, but there's just enough heart that they have a dedicated audience. And I think for Spanglish, I am going to be a part of that dedicated audience because I really liked it. Like, the film is very 2004. Like, I had sent clips to my boyfriend and we're both like, this is a little weird. But at the same time, like, these tropes that we kind of have set aside as like, we're not doing that anymore, they work in the film. And maybe that's just me being an Adam Sandler apologist. Absolutely me being an Adam Sandler apologist. But you know, it's fun. It's cute. There's a lot to like in this movie. And I'm being entirely genuine when I say there is a lot to like in this movie. I want to start actually by talking about Sarah Steele, who plays Adam Sandler's character and Tia Leone's character's daughter, Bernice. She is absolutely adorable. She's like a standout in this movie. There's something very magnetic about her from the beginning of her scenes, and there's always something in her performance that leaves me smiling. She just has a very sincere performance in the movie, and I really liked it. What's weird about this movie is it is definitely a rom-com, but that's almost like a very strong subplot. It's not like a genuine focus of the movie, because the movie is the daughter of Paz Vega's character, Christina. She's like relaying this year of her life in her essay to Princeton. So the story is really about her and her mother coming to America and working for this family. It's just the romantic tension between the adults in the household is like a weirdly prominent side plot. Is that a thing? I don't know if it's a thing. I don't think it's a thing, but anyway. So that brings like an interesting dimension to this whole thing, is that we're simultaneously expected to believe it's all from this girl's perspective. And so any scene where she's not present is a scene made up of details as relayed to her by her mother. That being said, the movie does not use the lens of an unreliable narrator. It's just very straightforward in every regard. That being said, there's nothing wrong with a movie being straightforward. I was very happy to turn off my brain and just watch something that I found very cute. So let's talk about the grown-ups acting in this movie. So I want to start with Paz Vega. She plays Flor, and she is so endearing. I would, if I were to be approached for this role, and I never should be, I'm very white, but if I were approached for a role like this, that's a difficult role to play, I think. You know, I wouldn't even say the film is smart enough to make this like a deconstruction, and I don't want to get into like the theory behind how the role is written. But she manages to be assertive without being like, you know, ethnically sassy. She manages to be romantic without being like ethnically spicy. You know, like they don't, I didn't feel like she was tokenized. I could be wrong and ignorant, but that was how I interpreted the part. She felt three-dimensional to me. And Paz Vega did a good job of balancing the nuance of that part, if there's even any nuance in the part. Let's be real, the roles themselves are not super nuanced, but what the performances brought to them made me think they were nuanced. Speaking of nuanced, Tia Leone has the thankless job of playing a high-strung LA housewife. Like, that on its own is such an annoying concept. To be like high-strung, high-maintenance, but well-meaning, kind of. She's annoying, let's be frank. She has the thankless job of playing this part that's just annoying. But at the same time, the right level of irritating and annoying that she lands in pitiful rather than pathetic. And that's the kind of role it needed to be. Because there are a couple scenes towards the end of the movie where she's just like, you know, completely soaked with tears and snot, and she's just very upset and depressed with the circumstances that she has kind of landed herself in. And she brings this kind of empathetic insecurity to the part that I was honestly surprised the film was willing to give her. You know, it's very easy to write off that kind of part as like, she's just annoying, she's just there to, spoiler alert, be unfaithful. You see her and you're like, oh yeah, she's gonna cheat. So it's not that much of a spoiler. And it works for the character, I think. And Adam Sandler. Okay, so Adam Sandler is really good in this movie, if a little miscast. It's not the kind of part he normally gets. And maybe it's just because I've been seeking out these performances, but at the same time, it's just not his thing. But he does a good job with it. He has moments where the performance, reserved as it is, really shines and it works for the movie overall. And he has this uncanny ability to look at someone like they're the only person in the world. And there is such depth and charm and warmth in the way he looks at Floor specifically. That's just absolutely heartwarming. Like I was really caught up in it. It was really cute, can't lie. This movie, again, doesn't have a lot going for it, but it has enough going for it that I picture myself watching it again. It has lots of just little really weird things about it that I appreciate. Like Adam Sandler's character is like a chef, right? And he's got this restaurant critic coming to see him, and he's like, I want to shoot for 3.25 stars because 3.25 stars says we're good, we're steady, we can be successful without being jerks about it. And then he gets like a 4-star review, and his reaction was just hilarious. Like it was enough of a reaction that like viewers understood what had happened. And it's just kind of a different take on that kind of success, and I liked that a lot. There's also a character, she just has like a bit part, but she's like this girl who works in Adam Sandler's restaurant, and this girl is just weirdly thirsty for Adam Sandler. Like, girl, same. People I know are gonna watch this. My boyfriend watches this. It's okay, he knows. Anyway, and again, honestly, nothing super special about this movie. It's a 2004 romantic comedy that's longer than 2 hours, which is honestly longer than it needs to be, but I was more than happy to sit through that entire runtime. There are interesting ideas it hints at that it could possibly talk about when it comes to like race relations, but it's no Crash, I'll tell you that much. I am not gonna give this like a rating out of 5, and this is something I kind of wanted to do anyway, and this was also an idea that my boyfriend had. I'm gonna give it like a circumstance rating. The optimal scenario to watch this movie. And let me tell you, this movie is the ideal film to watch. Swathed in blankets, just cozy it up. You know, it's like the mid-afternoon, like 3 to 4 o'clock. You've got your blankets wrapped around you, it's gray and raining outside, and you are just snug and ready to imagine that Adam Sandler is gazing lovingly at you. But no, in all seriousness, this film is kind of the ultimate rainy day, sick day movie. I think it's very comforting, it's very soft, very warm, and there's a lot of fun to be had in just enjoying something sweet and sentimental like this movie. So yeah, this film gets my rainy day, sick day stamp of approval, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like once I stopped writing my reviews in full, they tanked. That's okay. We're having fun still. This has been My Year in Movies. Thank you for watching.